Hello and welcome to the Honda S800 update number 26. Woohoo! All right guys, we're gonna start off by talking about what is happening with the sale of the S800. Well, we have it up on eBay and we've only had 2 people reach out with serious offers. Unfortunately, they were quite low, so we turned them down, but we were thankful for them. But as we progress, the idea of selling always dwindles down. So in this video, we're gonna show you what we've got done and tell you what we've got next coming up. So let's go ahead and get started. Using our official parts catalog from the 1960s or 70s to be correct, Elise installed these rear bumper brackets. And to be honest with you, the way that these cars were built back in the 60s is terrifying because safety was definitely not in their mind. So these brackets are gonna connect our rear bumper. We're gonna be probably sending our rear bumper to get redone, but they're just being held on by some high tensile strength, I think grade 8.8 bolts and a lock washer, but that's about it. I mean, I guess it's an aesthetic bumper, but it's gonna do this job. If you see, these look really nice. We had these redone as well because we wanna make sure that everything looks really good. And these were sandblasted, powder coated, and they're installed and they have that new hardware we put on there that was resynced. So we've got the hardware redone, we've got the bracket redone, and then we're gonna attach the bracket and it's gonna look great. All right, coming over here, what we did is we went ahead and we snaked the back of the harness behind this little area right here where the dash goes, where the instrument cluster goes. And essentially what we found out after looking at the wiring diagram is that the gauge cluster operates off of pretty much 2 plugs here. So what we did is we got those plugs ready to go and we got them all situated. Now, one of the things that we noticed is, look at this. This is our steering kind of assembly. It looks like we need a bushing there and another bushing in the bottom, but we'll see if we could find those, but we're definitely gonna need those when we're getting the car ready to go. Now, this is a really, really great thing, guys, and let me tell you what we've got planned for this area. So we're gonna start working on getting this interior pretty much done, and it's not gonna take a lot because it's small and we have a game plan for it. So if you look over here, we have these holes right here, right? And what we need plugs. And what I did is I went ahead and I put the plugs for this side, but I ran out of the plugs, but I know which ones I need and where to get them. But essentially we're gonna put the plugs in and then we're gonna put carpet. So we're gonna buy this carpet that's pretty inexpensive, but pretty highly rated. It's gonna be black. We're gonna go ahead and finish it off and we'll be good to go because we got the chassis bolts in, we're gonna have the plugs in, and then we're gonna have the carpet in, and it's gonna really make the interior look really good and it's gonna make it look like a new car pretty much. All right. So I wanna show you guys something. I got this door to shut beautifully. I mean, it's just, that feels nice in today's standards. And the reason why is because if you look over here in this assembly, we have a piece of rubber. And believe it or not, that piece of rubber is missing on my other door handle, so it gets stuck. So let me show you what happens. All right. So I worked on getting this door aligned, but if you close it right, let's say you close it really gently, like that, then you're able to open it. But if you do this, it gets stuck. And the reason why is because it's missing that little rubber piece that is on the other one. But that's fine. We just have to make sure that when we close the door, it's like kind of gotta, like that, and not push it too hard because otherwise it'll get stuck. All right, there is some cause for celebration because not only did we wrap the wiring harness, but we went ahead and situated this fuse box, right? I put the screws in, I locked it down, but this is really cool because this relay over here, I connected it. So that was the first thing that we connected on this car. And if one day we get it running, we'll remember that this was the first electrical connection here. So essentially what I started to do is I started to wire it through here. But of course, there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been installed or isn't there to be connected. But I'm gonna walk over and show you right here what I've done as well. So I went ahead and routed it through here. And if you see all these wires, this is going to go to the coil right here, but I did connect it to this other, I think in this relay or electrical unit right here. If you see, we have these wires for the starter relay, But essentially the harness is placed correctly because you could see that the wires that go to certain components are lined up. And I have the one that goes to the engine laying down, and then you're gonna have the other harness that's gonna come through the front of the grill that's gonna connect to the fuel pump and the lights and everything. But to be honest with you, I'm really excited about that because it's pretty self-explanatory, but we've got it in there, we've got it ready to go. So these are the exterior trim pieces to the S800, and I believe the S600 has it out as well. And what it does is actually pretty cool, is that it hides the seam welds or the pinch welds for the actual body. And I'm assuming that when they manufactured these back in the 60s, this is what they were doing. They were pretty much, this was the seam of it. So to hide it, they made this kind of a trim thing that kind of hides it. You don't really think about it, and you think it's part of the car itself. So I was going to go ahead and polish them up because I was like, you know, they still pretty look decent. But then I looked at the bottom of a couple of them, especially this one. As you could tell, it's already started to wear off. It wore off pretty much, the chrome. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop them off at Pro Powder Coating at Grand Junction, our favorite spot with Ryan. We have them all over here. We're going to drop them off. We're going to get them pretty much put that nice chrome looking powder coat on there, and it's going to really stand off. But that's going to be really great because when we get those on there, we put those on our body, it's going to cover up those seam lines, but it's going to be one more thing that we're going to finish. All right, so now you know the plans for the interior. I'm really excited because that's something I could really excel in. We could really kick its butt. We're gonna make it look good with that new carpet. We're gonna get the seats reupholstered, and then once we get the dash in and everything, we'll get it all looking really nicely. So what is next? Well, we're gonna take our time doing the seats. We're gonna get the carpet next, and we'll make a video about that. But one of the things that we're gonna get done here soon, and it's gonna be a big undertaking, is we're gonna lay out every single piece of engine component that we have in the garage. And then we're gonna get the manual, and we're gonna pretty much try to match everything up and see what we're missing. It might be way too big of a task, but we're gonna try it. And then we're gonna see if we have enough parts to even try. I did talk to somebody today at a machine shop, and they looked at a couple of my components. The S800 motor has these sleeves that go into block, and it looks like the motor that I got, which I'm not surprised, one of the sleeves was honed, or they call it dingleberried. It's kind of a funny name, but the other wasn't. So we were just talking, and we're really thinking that, you know, somebody really had good intentions with the car, but they just abruptly stopped. But that's fine, because we're gonna see what we have, and if for some reason we're close, I'm just gonna slap everything together, get some new pistons, slap everything together, and just give it a shot. The only thing that I'm not looking forward to is those carburetors, because that could be a big pain in the butt. Either way, I was talking with somebody who might be interested in taking on this and installing a 13B rotary engine in it. I know it'd be, but in the same time, no matter what, we're starting to seriously think about what we're gonna do to get this car running. So that's gonna be exciting. Well guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, thank you again for watching. You take care, and we'll see you soon.